morning and welcome to Still Up with 6, where the conversation continues. Of course, we always have a lot to get to while we navigate through this pandemic. But joining us this morning, we want to say good morning to Chris. Hey there, Chris.
Hey there, Heidi. Yeah, we're just waiting for a couple more people to get on board here and join us so we can get our questions answered. I know that a lot of you have a lot of different questions, and as we say every single morning, certainly a lot has changed since the last time we checked in on you. We now have more of a definitive look at when you can expect those stimulus checks, which is pretty encouraging for a lot of you out there. But yeah, more people are joining right now, Heidi, and as we do every morning, if you could get us up to speed on the latest numbers right now.
Well, we'll start off here locally. You can see there on your screen, Bell County saw both a rise in cases and 1 new death, bringing the total to 2 deaths total in Bell County, 58 cases. Brazos County did report 1 new death as well, but no new cases since we last checked in. So there's 94 cases there. Waco-McLennan County now up to 56 cases. And you can see Coryell County now has 10 cases after they reported 3 new cases yesterday. So, yeah, a lot is changing. More cases are being reported. But the unfortunate part is we did see 2 new deaths in both Bell County and Brazos County total. So those are the latest numbers here in Central Texas. That is what we like to start off with. But, of course, we also like to turn to the verified, because I think today's verified is really, really important because it affects children, it affects families, and I think a lot of people will see this, share it, and just spread fear and not facts. So, Chris, can you tap into what you covered this morning on Verify?
Yeah, absolutely, Heidi. So it's a meme that was sent to me by a number of different viewers, and it's been posted. I've seen on my social media feed a number of different times, but at least 13, 14 of you sent this to me. It says, the biggest wake-up call ever. If your child gets the virus, they go into the hospital alone, and you will be without them in their time of need. So what we verified this morning, if it was true that if a child is hospitalized for COVID-19, our parents banned from seeing them, we want to tell you right away that's absolute nonsense. Our researchers contacted half a dozen hospitals across the country. They all confirmed if a child is hospitalized for COVID-19, of course, a parent can come. Now, sometimes that can only be one parent. Sometimes there's pretty stringent screening processes for that, but as for the fact that you won't be able to see your kid if they test positive for COVID-19, that is absolutely not true. And all that does is just really spread more fear in a time when people are scared already as it is.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that would be a very scary thing if it were true. So I'm glad that you verified this, and hopefully people can share that it's not true, just to help spread the facts and not the fear, which is something we've been saying throughout this whole thing here on Still Up with 6, as well as Texas Today, as well as our evening newscast. But if you have a question you want to send to Chris, there is his contact information listed on your screen. Of course, he is verifying a new claim about the coronavirus each and every day. And I know you've gotten so many questions, Chris, that you haven't even gotten to yet, that you're working on doing the research for. So people, just be patient with Chris. He is working around the clock to answer those questions.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do have some more clarity on that stimulus check, which so many people have been asking me, hey, when can I expect that check? When can I expect that check? And unfortunately, I didn't have answers for you for a long time because it was very unclear when that check would be expected to come. But we've actually got some new information from Governor Greg Abbott, who said, Heidi, I think that he said it could happen as early as next week. Is that correct?
Yes, as early as next week, you can expect those direct deposits in your bank account. So look out for that. That, of course, was just one of the many things he tapped on yesterday during his press conference. I think we can expect more press conferences later this week from both the governor as well as our county leaders. And, of course, you can keep up with President Trump and the task force, who are updating the public each and every day. We are streaming that on our website and our Facebook page as well. And I think a lot of people are praising you, Chris, for that verify that you just talked about, because Al says that that would be her biggest fear if she couldn't be with her kids. So thank you for verifying that. And I think you have another verify question here.
Yeah, Marcus saying, can you verify that people with disability will get a stimulus check? Marcus, good question. I've answered this a number of different times, but I know that most people can't tune in every single day, and sometimes it's easy to miss something. But Marcus, I can tell you the good news is that if you're on Social Security, if you're on disability, you will be getting a stimulus check. So as long as you're under that salary cap, which most people are on disability, you will get a stimulus check. Marcus, I can verify, yes, you will be receiving that.
And Maria saying, hola, good morning from Bartlett. Thank you so much for tuning in, Maria. And Holly saying, direct deposit my bank account. I'd missed something. If you can see there, Holly, somebody had asked about the stimulus check, and we gave an update that we will be getting those if you qualify, of course, within the next week. We also put the link in the comments section of what Governor Greg Abbott said during yesterday's press conference in regards to that stimulus check and the stimulus package that passed.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to be very clear, if you filed your taxes online, the IRS and the government already has your direct deposit information, so that's how you'll receive that. Now, I do want to remind you that if you filed your taxes not online, if you filed them through the mail, you might be seeing some of your friends, some of your family members receiving that stimulus check before you. That's only because it's going to take a little bit longer to mail you your check physically rather than just direct deposit it. So that's why some of you may receive your checks at different times. If you filed online, you will receive it more quickly than those who didn't.
So Jason's asking, I got furloughed yesterday, so how efficient is unemployment to process my claim, and how hard is it to do? I've never done unemployment before. That's a good question. I know a lot of people are getting furloughed right now during these tough times that we're seeing. Jason, Chris, can you give him a better clarity as to the unemployment process? I know yesterday on the show we had somebody talking about unemployment at the 5 p.m. newscast. Do you have an answer for him?
Yeah, I can tell you this, Jason. If you got furloughed for the week that you're furloughed, or whatever it is, maybe you've been furloughed for a month, whatever the time period that you're furloughed for, you are eligible for unemployment. As for how difficult the process is, I've heard mixed things. I've heard people that have gotten through right away and filed. I've also heard a lot of different complaints across that the system right now is so overloaded with requests. Of course, we are seeing a staggering amount of people filing for unemployment. My recommendation would be to check it out. Just try it. I think we do have a breakdown of how to do it on our website, kcntv.com. And of course, we had a full unemployment show yesterday during our 5 p.m.
Judy's saying she missed the date when the checks will start to be sent. They could come as early as next week, and that's according to Governor Greg Abbott. Judy.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, there could be a lot of varying times on when this check may or may not come through. Of course, we've reported information before that has changed, so this changes every single day. But we are finally hearing from top elected officials a estimated and a hopeful timeline of when they might start to come through.
Amanda saying, oh my goodness, I've been trying to get a hold of Texas workforce for about 2 weeks now, always busy. And Amanda, yeah, I think you're not the only one trying to get a hold of them, as so many people are trying to file for unemployment. So I think it varies depending on when you're calling and when you're reaching out to them. So that answers Jason's question from earlier about being furloughed and unemployment. And of course, we did drop a link in for applying for unemployment, some more details on how to get through that process. But yeah, there is going to be a wait time as anticipated, because so many people are now applying for unemployment as they're either been let go of their jobs or they have been furloughed. So that is the reason why you're probably experiencing a long wait time to get to them.
Yeah, absolutely, Heidi. And so many people have reached out to me in our Verify segment, giving me your specific situation. And I want to tell you this, I feel for you. I know that a lot of you are going through a lot of uncertainty, and you're wondering where your money will come from and where that next paycheck will come from. I am trying to work through those different things and get back to you individually, but there is an overarching look at some of the hurdles you might face, or it might answer some of your questions on our website right now, and that's pinned in the comments as we speak. So I know that a lot of you have sent to me a lot of different questions about your specific situations. While I am trying to get back to every one of you individually, I would encourage all of you to head over to our website to read that article, because some of your questions might be answered within that. Now, the same goes for that stimulus check. So many of you have, unique individual situations. We've also got an article about who and who does not qualify on our website as well that might answer some of your questions. But again, I'm working through all of these questions to try to get back to you each individually.
Yeah, and they're all really good questions, and we understand everyone has a certain case they're dealing with. So just keep that in mind as Chris is trying to verify all the claims out there. Another comment coming in right now from Joshua saying, yay, we can all go out for a steak and beer on the government's dime. Wait a minute, everywhere is closed. Well, you can still order delivery, so you can still have your steak and beer, Joshua, if that's what you want to do with your money.
Another question coming in here from, are we going to see a peak in cases of COVID-19? Terry, very good question. Now, we covered this on the show this morning, but we'll kind of cover it here too. Here in Texas, at least, we are expected to see that peak by April 19th. That is the new date that the governor says we can expect to see a peak of cases of COVID-19. Now, that is earlier than anticipated, which, if you look at it, from one perspective, that's maybe good news that we can try to get there earlier and then start to flatten that curve in a significant way. So April 19th is the new date that, at least here in Texas, we are looking at to see a peak of the number of cases of COVID-19.
I know, Chris, you've gotten this question a lot about mosquitoes, and you verified this a couple of times here on Still Up with 6, but Rebecca's asking, have tests been done as to whether or not mosquitoes can spread COVID-19?
Yeah, it's a good question, Rebecca, and a legitimate concern, but I can tell you right now the CDC and the World Health Organization both say there is no evidence that mosquitoes can transmit this disease whatsoever. Of course, we don't want to say that definitively they can't, because we know that things change every single day, but right now there is absolutely no evidence whatsoever that mosquitoes are a transmitter of this disease.
And Autumn, we just dropped in a link for you asking for the official list of essential personnel. And Judy, we also have a link for you in regards to unemployment and the process. That's also in the comments section, so you can look for that as well.
Yeah, and there's definitely a lot of different questions about unemployment right now, and I know that it's a very difficult field certainly right now to navigate as it is so overwhelmed, but I would continue. I would say perseverance is key right now. If you're having trouble getting through, just keep trying. And I know that we've got a full list of things that you can do and hurdles you're going to have to jump over on our website. Again, I want to reiterate that is the best breakdown for unemployment and your guide for that.
Let me see. Amber asked, if you scroll up, Chris, this might be good for verify, because I know you've touched on this as well. Has it been verified that's effective to wear gloves? I've seen several individuals who touch everything, and it seems they are just spreading germs.
Yeah, it's a very good question, and it's one that definitely requires some more research on my end, Amber. So let me get back to you on that and look for that a little bit later in the week in a Verify segment as I talk to the experts here. But what I can tell you is that, in the beginning of this pandemic, you'll remember experts in the CDC and the World Health Organization all said you don't have to wear masks, and even healthy individuals shouldn't be wearing masks. That information has changed. So let me get up to speed on the latest information, the latest recommendations from top experts and officials and on gloves, and I can get back to you on that later in the week.
And I think it's important to remember that, like you said, Chris, this is a changing thing. We're learning new things about COVID-19 each and every day, and things will change. So Chris might verify, like he did, about the masks one day, and then the next day the CDC comes out with new recommendations and regulations and guidelines. So just remember that this is a changing virus, and we are learning every single day something new about it. I mean, we learned just yesterday that tigers have tested positive. A tiger at the Bronx Zoo has tested positive. This came after we thought no animals could test positive for it. So just keep in mind that things are changing. And of course, we're going to do our best to navigate you guys through these changes. And as we learn more information, we will, of course, keep you updated about it.
Yeah, I do want to clarify a little point there, because Melissa, has a legitimate concern, and Jay also put a concern out there about pets. I do want to remind people that the only case right now of confirmed COVID-19 has been that tiger in the Bronx Zoo that was exposed to a asymptomatic zoo worker. That has been the only case. There's been no cases of house pets so far that have tested positive. A lot of you might have heard of a dog in Hong Kong that tested positive for COVID-19. Here's what I want to clarify about that real quickly before we go. You might see tests like that happening. Now, that dog showed no symptoms. What happened is that they were around their owner that did have the coronavirus, so they might have been exposed to the bacteria, the germ that would test positive, but they would not be infected themselves, if that makes sense. So it's essentially they were maybe part of their surface, their fur had been exposed to it, but that did not mean that they were infected. As for this tiger, it remains to be seen how that will spread and if it will spread to our pets. But right now, we don't have any confirmed cases of house pets with COVID-19.
Shasta is asking if we have a link to see the up-to-date cases in Central Texas. Yes, it's pinned to the top of our website, kcentv.com. And I believe we have a graphic we can actually show you right now to get you up to speed on all the local cases here in Central Texas, broken down by county. There it is, Bell County, Brazos, Waco, McLennan, and Coryell County. And that's for you, Shasta. Unfortunately, we are running out of time here on Still Up with 6. But as we like to do every single morning before we go, we like to leave on a positive note, and this is something that Chris and I want to do. It's called Adopt the Senior. It's going viral on Facebook right now, where our local seniors, our high school seniors, are having people send them cards, letters, or even gifts just to help get their spirits up, uplift their spirits, especially, you know, as we know, a lot of events have been canceled, prom's been canceled, so many things they were looking forward to in such an important and memorable time of their life is now canceled. So this is really cool, and of course I'll post all the information on our website after we say goodbye here on Still Up with 6.
Absolutely, and we want to thank you guys so much for joining us every single morning. We are doing our best to keep you updated, to keep you informed, and to keep you safe. And we want to remind you to continue to look for the positive things, the things that do make you smile. Remember to wash those hands, stay inside, and we're going to get through this together.
Yes, we will. Well said, Chris. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Until then, have a great and safe Tuesday.